In order for God to elevate you, He must change your energetic vibrations. People had easy access to you. They knew your personality, that you were soft and kind, that your emotions were too open to them. They knew how they could manipulate you, tell you what you wanted to hear, and show you fake love. But when you began to pray more and you released your emotions to God, you increased your frequency quietly. Your past person is trying to reach you by phone and email, and they are blocked. They still think of the past with you, your available emotions, and their styles of manipulation, and they now get no response from you. They still think of old conversations, things that would get you to do what they wanted, and old ways of thinking. But you're no longer there. You now have a spiritual protective barrier that restricts access to them. God is protecting you because you have an assignment. You receive no more calls or messages, and they can't reach you because God is not allowing this. God is in charge of doing all this to secure you. Your past person is not in God, and God is letting them know you're no longer available to them, that your spirit and life is on a different level. They can sense it too, and they're disturbed by it. Of course, they can feel the shift, that spiritually they can't reach you. They're posting messages online that are meant for you. They're creating drama and doing their best to provoke you to react. They want the old you back so they could easily come back in, that you'll easily forgive, that they can get what they want and to be on familiar grounds again. But you're no longer that old you. It's gone. You're obedient to God. You live in truth and you've grown. The old people, I mean the people from your past, are leaving or have left. Your conversations are less, and meaningless connections you're not interested in anymore. You're discerning and precise. You're on a higher frequency from others, so past people cannot reduce you, and past people will reduce from your life. God is upgrading you. You're not alone. You have authority and alignment. Don't go back to the past just to fit in and to be liked and understood. You carry a divine spiritual light that reveals relationships and environments and everything dark. When you had stayed in that relationship or friendship and environment too long, they had their flaws, but your light hid them. You were supportive, brought stability, and accepted emotional chaos. Your past person was destructive, and all you brought was life. You prayed and consequences wasn't much for them when it should have been worse. They held on to you as long as they could, so they could have a comfortable life where you did mostly everything and they could grow. They managed their dysfunction well in your presence. But when God removed you, everything went wrong for them. You were not there to make things easy, for things to go right, to make excuses for their behavior and deep wounds. They have no spiritual protection now, and they see their own reflection clearly that they can no longer ignore. They no longer have your light. Their negativity, bad behavior, emotional wounds, and their darkness are harsh and impossible to ignore. Their bad habits and toxicity, that for which they blamed you, is facing them head on. They are lazy, chaotic, and lack purpose are all exposed. They used to make you the problem. You weren't. But you're gone now and they're miserable. They refused accountability and avoided truth. Now they're out of control. They were the scoundrel all along. They believed they were like a king in your life, or a queen. Put it to your gender. But that was only their illusion. They want you back because you were home to them. They love your light, your protection, but they haven't changed. They want to project onto you. With you, they refuse to heal, and you covered their emotional wounds. They want to continue to blame you, so you will look like the one who damaged them, who broke them down. They want you back also so they don't have to start over and mature. But God has shut that door. God doesn't want you to explain, doesn't want you to help, doesn't want you to go back and be with them because you were never meant to be there permanently. You are in alignment. They are now facing that what they have sown, they are now reaping. You are in clarity and truth. Your past person only took from you. They were an opportunist. They saw you were generous, discerning, and soft-hearted and wanted to live off that. They were an energy vampire, living off your light and soul, and they didn't care. You uplifted them when they doubted themselves. You helped them financially. You were loving and kind, but they refused to mature, and they felt important with you. They felt secure because they knew you were loyal. They were only around to get and left when it was time to give. They drained you slowly and consistently. God removed you from that person so that you would become more clear, increase in authority and spirit. You are not alone. Isolation always comes before elevation. They only want you back now because their life was peaceful with you, for you to take on their problems. They must go through their karma so that they can take responsibility, ask God for forgiveness, and look to God. They need to learn a divine lesson. You are not to help them,